Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulihi. Amma ba'du. And welcome to our Thursday evening presentation on the Quran. We're going to be looking at chapter 15, verse 21. 15:21, and some of you have been prepared for this somewhat. And then after we're done, we have our question and answer session. For those that have questions and answers on what has been presented or on the work that you're doing in the class. Let us begin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا عِندَنَا خزائنه وما ننزله إلا بقدر معلوم. Now most of you should know this without translating. And وَإِن مِّن إِلَّا, we have in and illa is showing a restriction only. It's restricted only. Min shay'in, of something, عندنا, with us. خزائنه, its treasure. Its treasure of something is only with us. وَمَا نُنَزِّلُ, now this may sound smooth in English because I'm trying to give you the Arabic words. وَمَا نُنَزِّلُهُ, and we, again, now we have ma and illa. So ma will be a negation and illa. And we only send it down. Biqadarin, with a measure, with an ability, with potential, ma'lumin, known, scientifically known potential, scientifically known power, scientifically known capability. Yes. This is nunaziluhu khazainuhu. Khazainuhu. That's our key word. Khazainuhu. The title of our presentation, perhaps I'll start putting titles on it. Everyone is a treasure. Everyone is a treasure. Khazainuhu. So let's look at Raghib al-Isfahani. This is one of the dictionaries that we're looking at, the Arabic dictionary, as I have said in the past. It's a very, very good Arabic to Arabic dictionary that is used by many scholars today. And they even say it's a very good dictionary. So he says, Al-Khaznu, see, Al-Khaznu here is giving us the internal noun in which the meaning comes out of. This internal noun. Not the verb, khazana. The meaning doesn't come from the verb khazana. The meaning comes from the noun al-khaznu. And then all other derivatives of this word al-khaznu, the meaning is derived from it. So he's giving you the root meaning, and then the meaning is derived, all other meanings is derived from it. So Khaza'inuhu is derived from al-Khaznu. Its meaning is derived from al-Khaznu. And al-Khaznu is hifzu ash-shay'i. It's the preservation of something. The preservation of something fi al-khizanati, in the treasure. So now, what we'll say in the al-khinaza, in the al-khinaza. Al-khinaza is a derivative of al-khaznu. So normally when we translate it, we're trying to get the understanding of what's al-khinaza. What is it? So we continue, but it's the preservation of something. The preservation of something. ثُمَّ يُعَبِّرُ بِهِ عَنْ كُلِّ حِفْظٍ كَحِفْظِ السِّرِّ. Then it expresses by it, or it is expressed by it, about every preservation. This expression, al-khinaza, al-khinaza, al-khaza'inu, this would be in the plural. Al-khaza'inu would be in the plural of khizana. So in every khizana, this is expressed. There is something preserved. Something is preserved in it. Like the preservation of the secret. Like you have a secret that belongs to the council. The council is our treasure. And in that treasure, the council, yes, is our treasure. And in that treasure is something that's preserved. And it is our secret. Yes. We don't always reveal our secret. Our home is our treasure. In our home, there are secrets. And these secrets are very precious to the family. That when we go outside the home, we do not reveal those secrets. Our mothers used to say, and perhaps our fathers too, do not go out of this house. When you go out of this house, you do not tell people what goes on in this house. There are certain things that go on in this house you do not reveal to the public. This is our own private place. This is not a public place. And in this private place, there's something that we preserve. Yes. The woman, as I mentioned in the class, she may have a treasure box. And in that treasure box is something that she preserves. And what she's preserving is something of value, great value. Yes. So everyone, we could say, is a treasure, and there's something in everyone that they should preserve and protect. We will get to that. Then we define al-qadarin is defined by al-qudratu. Al-qudratu is the internal noun in which al-qadarin, the meaning will be derived from. إذا وصف بها الإنسان القدرة, which I won't translate. This is the word that we're looking at. When al-insanu, when man, the human being, is defined by it, described by it, fasmu لهيئة له بها يتمكن. Thus, it's a name فاسم. It's a name فاسم لهيئة that belongs to a form, that belongs to an agent, that belongs to an organization, to him, to mankind. When al-Qudra is used to describe man, when it's used for man as a description of man, then it's a name or a noun for an agent that belongs to it. By it, يَتَمَكَّنُ مِنْ فِعْلِ شَيْءٍ. He is capable of doing things. This agency, this form, that when applied to man, when we speak of it in reference to man, it gives him the ability to do something. This agent gives man the ability to move his hands, to walk, to stand up. This is Qudra. Yes. Qudra. Whatever it is. Well, either Wusifa Allahu. And when Allah is being described by it, the Most High, فَهِيَ نَفْيُ الْعَجْزِ عَنْهُ. Thus, it is negating, it's the negation of any weakness, inability upon him. When we say Qudra, when Qudra is used for man, it gives him the ability to do things. It's something we're speaking something that's inside the man. Inside. We're talking inside, not outside. But we're talking basira. We're going to be making a presentation. I'm preparing to make a presentation during Ramadan. On the weekend, Saturday, and we will cover tafsirs. We'll cover the tafsirs. And we'll take our time. It may take a couple hours. It may take 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. I'm not going to put the clock on myself. And perhaps Sunday we will have discussions about it, or we will continue to present. Yes. So this Qudra. So in man, if we go back to the verse now, there is a known hadarin. There is a known ability. There is a known agent that gives it a certain ability to do something. And it's for that person. And it's something very precious for that person. We talked about the distinguished mark, the distinguishing mark that is placed upon every soul, upon every spirituality of every person has a distinguishing mark, just as he has a distinguishing mark on his fingertips. He also has in his spirituality a distinguishing mark that identifies him from all other human beings. And this mark if you know this mark is your true name. We often hear the saying, if you know yourself, you will know your Lord. If you know that this mark is your name, and if you know this name, you will know your Lord, because the name is a name that came from your Lord, that your Lord also has this name, but even though you are not divine. And it's this distinguishing mark that also gives you the ability to do things. When we putting these ideas together now, start seeing the Quran in its contextual wholeness. But for Allah, it's a qudra. When we speak of Allah, it's negating any weakness. So this tells us more about qudra. Qudra is in man, it's something in man, but until it comes to its fullness, we may find weakness. But in Allah, there's no weakness. So we look at ma'lum. Ma'lum is al-ilmu. Al-ilmu is the internal noun that gives us the root meaning of ma'lum. So ilmu is the thing, ma'lum is in the passive. For those that are working on your forms, the forms of nouns. This is form 1, passive. That means something that is known. Ilm is knowledge. Ilm is idraku shay'i. Idraku shay'i is the awareness or knowledge of something bihaqiqatihi, by its true reality. You see how we say this all the time, how these words are connect with each other? If you just relax and look at how these words connect and how they become inspiring after a while. Yes. So this haqiqah, to know yourself in its true reality. If yourself is the thing, to know yourself in its true reality is to know your name. To know your name is to know that distinguishing mark. You know, we may not even have in the language. See, if everyone had their own distinguishing mark that distinguishes them from everyone else, now even though they could put in the category of similarities, but yet still distinguishing. Like twins. Twins can be, physically they look just alike. We can categorize them from other human beings. But everyone we can look at has their own distinguishing marks that we could actually define or characterize or describe one human being from another. Even though they say we all look alike. But the one in the group, no, we don't all look alike. To other people, we look alike. Yes. If you looked at a herd of sheep, you would say they all look alike. But each individual sheep know itself from all other sheep because they don't all look alike. So to know yourself in your true reality, the true reality of yourself, is to know your name. What I was going to say is, because we all have a distinguishing mark in our spirituality, the language may not be broad enough that we all can have a name of our own. Even though I'm Salim, and another person is Salim, if that's our true reality, Salim, we're still different. He's different as a Salim than I am. But yet we have the same name because the language may not provide, is not broad enough for all of us to have our own individual name. So a person like Prince, may Allah be pleased with his good works. Prince, the entertainer, the singer, Prince. Perhaps he had this idea. Perhaps he had this logic. You know, they have a lot of money. When people like him, Michael Jackson, and others, when they have a lot of money and they write songs and they're looking for metaphors and ideas, they have enough money to sit with the best. They can have company with whoever they want and get ideas from them. So perhaps Prince, he had symbols that were not audible. They were not intellectually audible for his name, because he realized in his true reality, he's different than all other human beings of the world. So he gives himself a name that distinguishes, his name is a distinguishing name made up of a group of symbols from all other names in the world. Because he can't express. Language is not broad enough for him to express his true reality. I hope you follow. And that's the great treasure. Now let's go to Ibn Arabi, one of the great thinkers in the history of Muslims. During Ramadan, we're going to look at Ragib. We want to look at grammar. We'll take our time, look at the grammar. We'll look at Ragib, like we just looked at Ragib. We're going to look at Al-Bahru Al-Muhit. This will be a new tafsir that I'll be introducing to you all. Al-Bahru Al-Muhit. And it deals with language. A lot of it deals with language. But we'll take a look at that. We're also going to look at Shinkiti. We're going to look at Shinkiti. His tafsir is going to help us look at Quran by Quran. How we define the Quran by the Quran itself. The first tafsir of the Quran is the Quran. That's the first tafsir. And then the next tafsir is the tafsir of the Prophet. Praise and peace be upon him. So we're going to look at Ibn Kathir. Ibn Kathir, his tafsir will give us the sayings that come from the Prophet that has been preserved in terms of the hadith of the Prophet, or if not, it has been preserved by a companion, the companions, and the companions is anyone who lived at the time the Prophet lived. It doesn't restrict itself to just Abu Bakr, Bilal, and the others. Anyone who lived and saw him, that group, that first generation, we can say, the first generation that lived the time that he lived. And then we have those that follow them, follow that first generation. So Ibn Kathir gives us tafsir that has been reported by them. We'll take a look at that. As we develop these, look at the Quran, these ideas. Let me say this. I may talk a little today. If you're reading books about Islam, and it's a scholarly book, well written, about Islam, the Quran has to be the foundation of your writing. You can't write a good book about Islam if you cannot read the Quran actually in its Arabic text. You can write a book. Now, in this society, we'll say it's good, but in reality, you, the author, have to be able to read the Quran and know what the Quran says on that subject as a foundation of the book, as a foundation of your writing. Yes. And to know what the Quran says, you have to have studied tafsir. Because the way the Quran is written, you have to be able to know what it says, and the only way you can know what it says is by tafsir. Tafsir means an explanation, especially if the language is not your language, especially if you were not a companion of the Prophet. And you're coming years later, then you're studying Arabic, and you studying Arabic and writing about Islam. As you study Quranic Arabic and write about Islam, then you would have to study tafsir. And that's what we're doing. So Mali starts at the beginning, is to study tafsir. And over the time, the span of time, there are different types of tafsir. So that we're going to look at those that were close. The companions, the first generation, the followers, those that followed the first generation, we'll look at them. Then we have like Ibn Arabi now. We're looking at Ibn Arabi. And I'm going to put these tafsirs in two categories. One is Basr. Basr, if you remember the word Basr. If you don't, ask me the question later. Basr, those tafsirs I put under the category of the first generation and the followers of the first generation. That's the Basr. And even as the mind expands over time, then we have the tafsirs I'm going to put under the category of Basir. You have Basr and Basira. Basr is the thing that you can see mentally, the things you can see obviously, the things that you can see literally. That's Basr. And that's what you get from the companions. Then the Basira is those things that you see philosophically, mystical, intuitively. That's Basira. So we have the two categories of Basr. I'm giving these the names. I don't know if you're going to go in the book and find this or not. But based upon our teachings and what we're learning, I'm putting them under the category of Basr and Basira. Seeing with the eyes, the companions saw things with the eyes, they witnessed things with the eyes that the Prophet said and did, and their minds are reporting the Quran that based upon you can see it mentally. When you get to Ibn Arabi, it's not as literal. It's more philosophical. It's more psychological. It's more intuitively. So we'll look at both. And Imam David Muhammad also comes looking at him as a tafsir, because we're going to look at his comments on the same verses. So when we're looking at the tafsir of Imam David Muhammad, it comes under the category of Basira, not Basar. Under Basira. So the two categories of Basira will be Ibn Arabi and Imam David Muhammad. And under the category of Basar, we're going to have Ragib, we have Al-Bahru al-Muhit, and we have Shinkiti. As we look at the various sciences of how all of it comes under the heading of tafsir, the explanation of the Quran that would allow us to read it and understand it better. We'll take our time during Ramadan. And we will record and preserve the presentations for future students. It will be for students. Ramadan will be for students. You'll recall Imam W.D. Muhammad, he was saying the Ramadan sessions are for students. And this will be Ramadan sessions each weekend for students. You can attend if you're not a student, but I'm going to be talking to the students. I'm saying it now that some of you can begin to become prepared for it. We start early, we prepare early. We don't wait till a week before to prepare for a month like Ramadan. We start preparing now. So Ibn Arabi now, one of the great thinkers that come under the category of Basira, he's commenting on وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا عِندَنَا خَزَائِنُهُ, which we have translated, that is to say, when he said that is to say, what he's going to say here is speaking about what's said here. This is going to be about what's here. That is to say, مَا مِن شَيْءٍ. See, مَا مِن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا. You're going to have مَا and إِلَّا. You have إِن and إِلَّا. فِي وُجُودِ. So in the creation, we could say nothing is restricted. So nothing is found. Nothing is found of anything in creation. Nothing is found. في وجود. إلا له عنده, except that it is with us. خزانة, a treasure is with us. في عالم القضاء. It's in the realm. It's in the world. It's in the realm of al-qada. It's in the high spiritual realm, a high spiritual realm of al-qada. And al-qada, we could say, is something that's a decree, something that's foreordained. It's foreordained. Before, let me say it, keeping with what I said earlier, before we manifest as a human being in this material world, before we are born as a baby, our name has already been preordained. And in that name gives us our capabilities. So it's in the realm that's preordained before we manifest as a person. Now, side note, you see why I would say you can't have an abortion at any stage? Think about it. In this realm, أولا first بارتسام صورته في الكتاب. First is by sketching. It's by the sketching. You know, you're going to write surati, its picture. You're going to sketch its picture, its form. We're speaking spiritual now. Your true self, your true reality is being sketched. Surah, your true picture. Your true picture is not the physical picture. Your true picture is a spiritual picture. And it is being sketched. The artist is sketching your picture. Fi kitab, in the mother of the book. Yes. You're being sketched on one of the pages of the mother of the book. الذي which. Maybe you want to ask a question. What's the mother of the book? الذي which. And I guess he's going to tell us. هو العقل الكلي. Which it is العقل الكلي, the universal intellect. This is good. It's good to me. I don't know if it's good to you, but it's really good to me. Yes, you're being etched, the universal intellect. على الوجه الكلي, upon the universal face. The universal orientation. The universal character. How do you want to say it? Watch. Over time, as we're making these presentations, these words, we start seeing the broadness. The broadness of the language, the broadness of the Quran, the broadness of these expressions. We're learning, and really being inspired by those who have been inspired. Until we go to the origin of inspiration, the Quran itself. Summa, then, that's the first step. Then, khizanatu ukhra, then another treasure. That's the first, there's a treasure there. And that's the first. Then there's another treasure. Or the treasure grows. How we want to see it. Fi alami nafsi al-kuliyati. And if this one is in the realm of the universal soul. This treasure. And again, we identified an idea of what this treasure is. It's now in the realm of the universal soul. وَهُوَ, and it is اللَّهُ الْمَحْفُوظُ. And it is in a preserved tablet. The first sketching is in the mother of the book. Now, this as we continue to sketch, it comes down to the preserved tablet. The Quran speaks about the preserved tablet. بِإِرْتِسَامِ سُورَتِهِ فِيهِ مُتَأَلَّقًا بِأَسْبِيبِهِ. And in this sketching is the of your picture, is the connection with your cause, with your purpose. Let's use purpose. Yes, it's connecting your purpose. I hope you can envision the artist. He's sketching first on the pages of the Ummul Kitab. And there, in those sketches, he's sketching the universal intellect. You're being sketched on the intellectual intellect that's upon the universal face. And then the sketching continues. Now you're being sketched on a preserved tablet, and this sketching is sketching in your purpose. This is all being preordained, your purpose. ثُمَّ خِزَانَةٌ أُخْرَى. Then another treasure. We'll continue with the treasure, but each level is a treasure. These are all treasures. خزائن في النفوس الجزئية. It is our treasures. There were treasures in the detailing souls. As I would say here, now you're being detailed. detailing, that mark that we treasure, we're talking about. Now you're getting the details, distinguishing details. Asamawiya, heavenly. Not the heavens out, not the heavens out there, the sun and the moon and the planets, the heavenly details. Mu'abiran, expressing, the expressing heavenly details belonging to souls. Anha, about it, bisamai, by the sky at dunya, by the sky of the dunya, that's the lower sky. So we start at the high sky of your spirituality. Now we come to the lower skies of your spirituality. Wallahi al-qadari bi irtisami suratihi fiha juz'iyatun maqdaratun. So as it comes to the lower skies, then we have the tablet of your ability. By the sketching of your picture, in it is the measured, we could say the measured details, measured potential abilities, they're being detailed. See, everybody can't do everything. Everybody's not good at everything. But everybody is good at something, and everybody has a mark. Yes. And we could say, to make a remark, that that mark is an inalienable right that belongs to you, and it cannot be suppressed by anyone outside of you. It shouldn't be. You should preserve it, protect and preserve it. Be miqdariha, by its measuring. So these abilities that you have, maqdara, these abilities that you have, this potential, potential that's detailed by its measuring, by its measures. How much you can do, and the value of what you can do. Wa shakliha, and its form, what it has, and its place, meaning the ability for you to perform with the form that you're given. We could say the bodily form, if you want to say, and the place that you're placed will bring out the best of you. If you're in a place and you have this ability, you have this talent, you have this maqdara, you have this qadar, but if you say, I can move to another place on this earth, and it would bring out the best of this mark that's in me. It will bring out the best of me. We should have a universal right to go to that place in order to bring out the best that Allah has placed in us. Allah created this earth, Allah created me. Then I should have the right to go to that place in order to bring this talent out that Allah has placed in me. Yes. وَمَا نُنَزِّلُهُ, then we bring it down. Then whatever we bring down, we do not bring it down. فِي عَالَمِ الشَّهَادَةِ, the realm of witnessing, manifestation. Yes. You see it, we see it, that what Allah has placed in you. It is only a scientifically known ability that you have. We all have it. And actually, if it's universal, we should be able to bring it out anywhere on this earth. Even though I made the first remark. We start from the high spirituality and see how we come all the way down to the realm of Shahada. So you're telling me you have the right. At what point do you abort it? Do you abort it at the point of Alim al-Qadar when it's being ordained? Or do you have the right to say, no, we're not going to do that? From that point all the way down to this point, the baby is born, the talent we see, what has been given, you see what has been given to you in ability, we have a right to abort it? No. I don't have to follow the media. The media is not my teacher. And this known ability means shackling from your form, your bodily form. Yes. What qadrin, your abilities, your potential. What watin, your place. What waqtin, the time. What mahallin, muayyina, and the specific place. واستعداد مختص, and a specified preparation in that place, in that time, the time that you're in. This is Ibn Arabi. So now, let's look at what the Imam W. Muhammad is saying. So now he's going to give a remark on the same verse. The logic that comes from Imam. See, one thing we're going to do, inshallah, we look at where the Imam is commenting on verses, and then we look at his speeches where we can fit them into the comment of a verse, even though he himself didn't name that verse. So what we're doing as students over time, we codify. Right now we have a lot of the teachings of Imam W. Muhammad. And one of them we're going to be looking at during the month of Ramadan is the book 1 of the Ramadan session that is being published by, or has been published by, Imam Ronald Shaheed. This is a great work. We haven't began to study Imam W. Muhammad. We're just now. This is just the sketches of studying Imam W. Muhammad to codify his work in the form of tafsir of the Quran. I hope you understand what I'm saying by codify. Ibn Arabi didn't have to write this tafsir himself. It has been attributed to him, but he didn't have to sit down with his pen and write it. Someone who studied him, came after him and studied him, writes it, but attributed to him. So this is what we're doing. This is the beginning of studying Imam W. Muhammad. And then by studying him, take these presentations he has made, these speeches he has made, all of speeches, and codify it into a tafsir of the verses of the Quran. That's our work. So first step is that we have someone like Imam Ronald Shaheed who is doing the work to put it in good form, good language form. When you go from speeches to paper, it has to be put in the right, edited in the right way, without losing anything from the speech. And that's what he's doing. So on good paper, hardback, it can be preserved. That's his interest. That's his job. And he's doing a good job on the Ramadan sessions. If we study the Ramadan sessions closely, in 4 stout volumes over the years that the Imam was teaching, that would be good. That would be a lot. Yes. So I encourage you all to get the copy of each volume. Volume 4 will be coming out soon. He has volume 1, 2, and 3. Volume 4 will be coming out soon, especially for the students, because we're going to be studying. We're going to be studying Imam W. Muhammad not as the person, but we're going to study the logic. Yes, and codify the logic, that it becomes Muslim American logic. Yes. So Imam W. Muhammad is saying, whether he is from prison or from the free world. Now, one thing that we notice as we're studying Imam W. Muhammad, he's going to take the high spiritual ideas, basira. See, he has basira, and then he's taking the basira and coming down and putting it in the realm of basar. From what we were saying. And then from there, we could say he's bringing it down to the Sama'id Dunya. Then from there we take it, and then we apply it. We draw from that and we apply it, creating our own customs, traditions, application of the Quran. We start high, we bring it all the way down to our own life, of where we see it at, how we apply it. So whether he is from prison, look how he says it. Whether he is from prison or from the free world, we should regard him as a treasure in its fullness. Everyone is a treasure, no matter where he's from. Regard him as a treasure. If he does not want to work, it is because he is dead to his asbab. We say asbab is his potential, his cause to his purpose. Yes. We say cause to his purpose. Yes. Because his picture has been sketched. His picture has been sketched. And in that sketching, his purpose is connected with it. So if he does not want to work, it is because he is dead to his purpose. He doesn't know his purpose. Our concern should be to help that man get back in touch with his destiny, so that he can go on and pursue a productive life. Yes. So we must bring the life-giving knowledge to him and make him come back alive with purpose. And once he knows his purpose, he's been given the ability to fulfill that purpose, from what we have said. And another comment the Imam is saying, if God can guide the earth into existence, into form, into order, and then guide my own essence into existence and into form, and guide my life rationally and morally, do you think that that same God is going to stop guiding? Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. I thank you for your time listening this evening. I'm going to sign off and come right back. We'll have time for the students in terms of your questions that you may have. Assalamu alaikum.